We were joined here now by Coach Kenny Gajewski and first baseman Alysen Febrey. And if you guys each want to start us off with an opening statement, then we'll take some questions.
Yeah, obviously, great win. It's just put ourselves in the driver's seat in the regional here, and that's the bottom line. I didn't think we played particularly clean, but this was a day that our offense was just really good, and I credit them. Thought Carrie battled through. Didn't think she was as sharp as she's capable of. Had to really labor and work, and we didn't help her. We had a couple errors and a couple balls that I felt like a couple balls that fell in that I felt like we should make. And we need to improve upon to be the type of team that we want to be. But overall, just another really good offensive performance, scoring in 3 of the 6 innings with some crooked numbers. And, I remember turning to Jeff in the 3rd or 4th and saying, man, we've really hit some balls hard here today. And it's really been good to see, putting the pressure on them. So feel good about our spot. We can go home and rest and watch these guys beat each other up and have to stay out here and play. And that's the advantage, and hopefully we can take advantage of that.
How about you, Alysen?
I think, hitting-wise, we really just stuck to our plan, and we're able to string some runs together for Carrie. Like you said, I didn't think Carrie had her best day, but we were behind her and had her back, and that's what it's all about.
Great. All right. Looks like we do have one question ready here from Robert Allen. So, Robert, if you want to unmute and go ahead.
Yeah, Kenny, you talked about Carrie. It looked like, and I know you can't really comment on umpiring, but she's one that she likes to work the corners, and it looked like she really wasn't getting the corners today. And you can kind of see the frustration build up with her when she feels like she throws a good pitch and doesn't get rewarded.
Well, here's the one thing I can tell you. These guys work their tails off umpiring, and I'm not, you obviously know I'm not going to say anything. These guys are good. That's why they're in this regional, and that's why they're postseason umpires. She's very difficult to umpire, and she throws the corners, and she can hit the front corner. And what happens is these umpires are just like hitters. Like, you miss a pitch and you know it, and then you freeze up on the next one, and you can't get in a rhythm, and it's tough. So I haven't watched the film. I can watch Carrie, and she thinks every ball's a strike, like every pitcher does, and so it's it's hard to tell. But the bottom line is she wasn't as sharp, so it makes it harder on the umpiring. And but credit Mississippi State. The one thing you don't want to forget here is Mississippi State plays in the #1 conference in the country. Their hitters are calloused, like they just keep grinding. Like, they've seen this and they keep grinding and keep going. And they just made it hard on us. They didn't chase. They didn't have a lot of bad cuts. And so credit them. I mean, we can blame anybody, but maybe we ought to just give Mississippi State a little credit for their toughness.
And then for Alysen, really, strong day for you, obviously, at the plate with some clutch hits, but it's that whole top part of the order for the last 2 days that you guys are kind of blistering right now.
Yeah, I mean, Kylie's definitely a good leadoff. I mean, a lot of times she's getting on base, and then Shy's able to move her. So I think just sticking to how we are as players, and being selfless and having selfless at bats to move runners to score. So I mean, we've really just focused on that and coming together as a team. We talk a lot in between hitters and telling them what we see. So whatever we can do to help.
Great.
Thanks, guys.
Our next question is going to come from Frank Bonner of the Tulsa World. So go ahead, Frank.
Hey, Ken, I wanted to ask about, the top of the second. Mississippi State had bases loaded, 2 outs, and you guys were able to get out of that inning unscathed. How big was that sequence for you guys in the outcome of the game?
Yeah, Frank, it was huge. I told our team after our game that, they had the momentum even through 2.5. The score was 2-1, but it felt like it was 4 or 5-1 them because they had so many runners on base. But that's what aces do. They shut that stuff down. And Carrie gave us a chance to kind of get the bats woke up, and then we rolled a 5, and it just kind of broke their back. But it was huge. I mean, Carrie works out of jams. We don't ever panic. behind her. She's not giving in. Coach John calls a game the same way. He's never giving in. He's not afraid to walk kids. And, I mean, he's not just going to lay a cookie over the middle of home plate. So credit John and Carrie for really buckling down there. It was a huge moment.
Appreciate you.
Okay, our next question is going to come from Barry Trammell of the Oklahoman. Go ahead, Barry.
Yeah, Kenny, coaches all over, you guys are on such a great roll. Coaches all over campus have talked about how, the sports sort of feed off each other. But is it sort of cool to know that softball's reached the point where you're one of the sports that your colleagues in Stillwater sort of look at, hey, we want to keep up with the softball. We want to feed off that softball team. OSU's got such a great athletic tradition, but you guys now are, at or near the top of that. How pleasing is that to you?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I feel like we're trying to keep up here. Barry, the standard's so high here, I mean, you can feel good about yourself, but we don't have any championships. We've got 52 or 53 of them here. There's not a female national championship here at OSU yet. And so there's a constant grind and wanting to be part of that. And it's really cool to have John Smith in our outfield. And it's really cool to have Coach Boynton out there and Alan Bratton, he's been out to a game. And I could just keep going on and on and on. And I think we had some of the baseball staff here today. It's one of the coolest places I've ever been. And I've been at some really neat schools at OU and Tennessee and Florida. And I don't think I've been a part of anything like it ever. And these Olympic sport coaches, the ones that we see, the ones that show up to meetings, the head coaches meetings every single week. It's a pretty special group that has really COVID really kind of took us over the top with each other. But Barry, if you think like that, that makes me feel good. And if that's what the outside perception is, I'll take it. But I don't want to think about it, to be very honest. I want to just keep trying to achieve what most of these teams here have done, and that's win at a high level for a long time.
Alysen, let me ask you, what's your impression of softball's place on campus with the other athletes and other programs on campus?
I mean, I
sort of elevated yourself.
I kind of agree with Coach T. I don't think it's like we stand out. I mean, obviously overall, like we have a good record and stuff like that, but just like he said, like there hasn't been a women's national championship here. And I mean, all of our sports are really competitive and stuff. And I feel like it's because our like head coaches and like even the athletes are so close that it doesn't make it seem like we're above anybody else because everybody puts their work in. So, I mean, yeah, it would be cool to be like above everybody, but I don't think it's like that here.
All right, we've got two more questions here, then we'll wrap it up. We'll go to Eric Lopez first, then we'll end it with Robert Allen. So Eric, you go ahead.
Alysen, I want to start with you. Just talk about the atmosphere that they're playing in these two nights here. What has it been like to be in that environment with the fans there? I mean, something we didn't have last year and didn't have for some of the season. What has it been like from a player standpoint?
Well, I mean, when they announced full capacity, I think everybody got really excited just because it's postseason and our fans. That's one of the things I've really noticed coming from Georgia. Our fans are like in it with you. They're in it with you every pitch and stuff like that. Just with postseason and everything on the line, it's crazy. It's really exciting to have fans like that.
And then, Coach, you knew at Florida those regionals that was intense atmospheres. You took a team there and you've coached there, but watching this regional, this is as electric of an atmosphere of a regional as there is right now in the country. You have to be proud of this atmosphere and environment here that really shows out here on national TV.
Yeah, I'm super proud of our fans. They're rock stars. I've got some great friends out there on that deck that have been with us from my first days, and they've just continued to show up. They've continued to try to outdo themselves every year, every week, every day, and I'm just so thankful that we have the support. I've told you guys this, when I was a player at OU, this was the hardest place to come play for baseball. And I always knew that when I had an opportunity to get this job and I was afforded the opportunity to get this job, I was like, we can do this here just like that. And we have done it, and we need to keep it going. And you do that by putting a good product on the field. You do it by good kids, good people, good friends that support us. They support us with their time, their resources, their energy, and it's a special place. The atmosphere here was electric all day today. And if you think it was good today, I can promise you it'll be outdone tomorrow.
All right, this will be our last one from Robert Allen, then we'll get Mississippi State in here.
Yeah, Kenny and Allison, if you want to respond as well. Reagan had a big play, and what Frank mentioned was stopping Mississippi State in that third inning when she gunned it down to third, and you got the girl on the rundown, got the out at the plate. Also, she made a dive on a foul ball in the first and muddied herself up pretty good. Talk a little bit about Reagan. She's a transfer that seems to really fit in well with this ball club.
Oh, she go first.
Well, I mean, I think a huge part of why Reagan fits in here is she's so selfless. I mean, she is one of the most caring people I've ever met, and I've known her for not even a year. She just really wants success. I mean, just watch her behind the plate when she gets a strike or even a close ball. Like, she's all in for her teammates, and I think that's why she fits in so well here.
I can remember, Robert, our first inter squad here, and I think it was the first batter of the game with this ball. We were doing those orange and black ones, and Carrie struck the first batter out, and Reagan pumped her fist behind home plate. And I looked over at Jeff and I said, we got somebody with some energy behind home plate. And it was really cool to see. And that's the way she's played the whole time. She started off not very good with her bat, and it's just gotten better and better and better as she's really just settled in and relaxed and having fun. And she's just an amazing kid. We love her. We're so glad that she's here. And like I'd say about all these kids like Alysen and Reagan and Jordan and Carrie, I wish we could have coached them their whole time here. And we just got to make the most of what we've got. And it takes kids that, want to be like that as well. It's a relationship and it's a two-way deal. And these kids are all in, and it makes it really cool.
All right. Well, thank you both, and good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
All right. We're joined now by Mississippi State coach Samantha Ricketts and right fielder Christian Quinn. If you could both start us out with an opening statement, just what you saw out there today, and we'll see if there's any questions.
Yeah, I think we ran into a great team out there. I really like that bats we put together off Eberly. She's big pull pitcher of the year for a reason, but you're making her throw 130 pitches up and down the lineup. I think we just kind of needed that big knockout punch, leaving the bases loaded twice. But credit to them, their pitching staff and their offense. They've been good all year long, and they really came out attacking. We really didn't have an answer for them in the circle. So we're going to look to regroup, come back later tonight, and then try and get us back to one more day here tomorrow.
Yeah, I agree with Coach Ricketts. We just have to have some timely hits. We had some really good quads and at bats, but they're a pretty good team. But not really worried about that. We're gonna have a great game this next game and get after it tomorrow.
All right. Well, we've got a question here from Robert Allen. Robert, if you want to go ahead.
Yeah, this could be for either coach or player. The third inning seemed to really be pivotal, and you guys started off in the top. Kind of thought you'd taken the momentum at that point, and then they came back and kind of answered. Talk about the importance of that third inning and kind of what you thought was going on.
Yeah, definitely. I think, you right on the head there with the momentum. I think this game's so much more than just balls and strikes and home runs and strikeouts. And it's really about how quickly can you get the momentum back in your dugout after either team scores or has a big inning. And, we were able to pull ahead in the top of the third, and they came right back out like great teams do and answered that with a big 5 spot. So, need to find a way to, shrink that down so we're not giving up so many there in the bottom of the third. But it was definitely, I think, a big momentum shift for this game for us.
Christian, what are your thoughts on that from a player's perspective?
I agree. We had a huge momentum shift right there, and we were ready to attack, but we had the defense made some really good plays on some balls, and it really didn't fall through. But it was really going in our favor, and some things don't work out like that, and that's okay. And it's how you bounce back, and that's just what we have to do.
Yeah, and I know it didn't go the way you wanted it to today, but Christian, you got on base 3 times, including a big double. What were you seeing at the plate today?
I was just trying to stay relaxed and stay calm. We had been really preparing for her for a while, and I just knew it was really loud at the stadium, and they were going to be yelling in my ear. But if I just stayed calm and just battled pitches, I knew that I was going to get on base. And it's just telling myself I was going to get on base. That's really what my big perspective on it was.
Okay. Looks like we might have one more from Robert Allen here, and then we'll let you guys get out of here. Go ahead, Robert.
Well, yeah, you kind of addressed it, but the coach, you've been there as a player as well in Stillwater. From what you remember when you were a player, how have you seen that atmosphere grow? And I guess just the absolute excitement for softball in the Oklahoma State program. It's a little bit more.
Yeah, definitely. I think, from when I played here to now, and specifically what Kenny has done in the last few years it's just really impressive. The love he has following for his program, the fans, the double-decker group in the outfield. It's just really cool to see this many people showing up for a women's softball regional. And I think that's a huge credit to him and his program and his players and what he's done. And that's what we're all striving for, is we know we have a great product in softball out on the field and on TV, and just continuing to draw in fans to the game, because we know once they get here that they're going to fall in love with it. So it's really cool, even though they're for the opposing team, they're out there. Our left fielders having a good time with them, and we enjoy the atmosphere. It's fun. I think it just shows the excitement around our game right now, which is what we love to see.
Thank you both.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you both, and good luck this evening.
Thank you.